On Saturday, 8 people were killed, 7 others were hurt. Police identified the gunman as 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia. He was shot and killed by a police officer who was already at the mall on an unrelated call. Now, we do want to warn you, some of the video you're about to see is difficult to watch. We are not going to show anyone being struck by gunfire. Now, police are reviewing this video very closely. It shows the moment the gunman jumped out of his car and opened fire on innocent shoppers. Investigators say he was armed with an assault-style rifle and a handgun, and that he was wearing a tactical vest. Say he also had more weapons and ammunition in his car.
It's still so traumatic to talk about.
I can imagine that.
It was on the news this morning.
And I mean, you know, innocent people lose their lives on the count of, you know,
one person with a gun. I've never in my entire life encountered anything like this.
It's like a movie that's, you know, you're part of, and you know it's not happening, it's real.
For more on all this, we are joined by NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson, who is in Allen, Texas. Priscilla, good morning to you. I mean, this all happened very quickly, so explain.
Is this from today or the other day? No, this is from over the weekend. I didn't cover it because it was the weekend, and I didn't want to cover it. It was breaking, and I wanted to wait for, like, all of the actual details to form, so I waited. But, yeah, this was in Allen, Texas. People saying he wasn't a white supremacist are fucking lying, obviously. Like, he was. He's Hispanic. So, the shooter was Hispanic. Bro, chatters were in here during while you're eating kebab saying cover the shooting. Yeah, I know. That would have been fucking insane for me to, like, turn around and be like, we interrupt this broadcast where I'm eating kebab with, like, my 2 friends who are, like, not very knowledgeable on fucking politics to, you know, to cover this, like, breaking shooting happening, right? So, didn't he have the RWDS patch on his vest? Yes. He had the right-wing death squad patch on his vest. That was one of the immediate details that came out of the shooting, and people were like, well, he's Hispanic. How could he be fucking a white supremacist? And there's a major thread about all of his ties to the white supremacist movement. He was a big Tim Pool fan. He watched a bunch of videos on his YouTube that is, like, still public at this point, like, still public profile at this point. He was very clearly a white supremacist. I wonder if he has yeah, like Michael Treacy made, like, that idiotic fucking take where he's like, what? A white supremacist? A Latino guy with a white supremacist name? Like, it's like, bro, have you been to Texas? Have you left your fucking house? Just go to Texas. 52% of the Customs and Border Patrol officers are fucking Hispanic, dog. What the fuck do you mean? Like, oh, I'm shocked. What's next? A white supremacist Hispanic person? What? A white supremacist Latino person? What? What? Bro, it's Texas. The fuck do you mean? And this one was like, this dude was, like, way in the fucking Kool-Aid, okay? Way into the Kool-Aid. Anyway, just let's continue with the details, and then I'll get to all the discourse surrounding
how it all unfolded and what is the latest on the investigation.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. And as you heard there, people are still in shock and disbelief, those who were here and witnessed or experienced all of this unfolding. And all of the witnesses say that this came out of nowhere. They were enjoying a Saturday afternoon shopping when all of a sudden, as you saw in that dash cam video, someone pulls up to the mall, gets out of the car, and just starts firing. And to give you a bit of context, this is an outdoor outlet mall. We're talking about more than 100 stores. So there may have been certainly hundreds, if not thousands, of people that were milling about this mall as this shooter went on this rampage here. We know that there was an officer who was already on scene for a different call that immediately ran towards that gunfire and was able to ultimately shoot and kill that suspect. But it's unclear at this point how much time had passed, how much time where there was shooting going on. But obviously we know that in that time there were 8 people who were murdered and 7 more who were injured. And as for the latest in the investigation, police have not held a briefing in more than 24 hours. They are revealing very little information in terms of the investigation and how all of this unfolded. Instead, right now, they are asking anyone with videos or who may have been witnesses to this to continue to come forward as they try to piece together a TikTok of how all of this played out here on Saturday. Joe?
So, Priscilla, even though investigators are at least publicly a little bit tight-lipped, we are learning more about the shooter. What can you tell us about what we've learned about Mauricio Garcia?
Yeah, so they have identified him as a 33-year-old male, and senior law enforcement officials tell us that they are looking at investigating this crime as something that could have been racially or ethnically motivated. We know that senior law enforcement officials say they have seen hundreds of social media posts from this suspect that is espousing neo-Nazi rhetoric and also...
Yeah, they're like, what? What? But his name sounds Mexican. What? Bro. You know, one of the most famous white nationalists in the country has the last name Fuentes. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? What are you, fucking stupid? Are you oblivious to this reality? Here, I'll do you one further. I mean, Candace Owens. She's black. She's a white supremacist. What are you talking about? There's Attila Hildmann in Germany is like the leader of the QAnon white supremacist movement there. He's fucking Turkish. White supremacist just means you think white people are superior and you are advocating for their best interests and you want to ethnically cleanse everyone who's not. Okay? Like all marginalized groups. It doesn't matter if you are personally not white. Okay? Very stupid. It's not even a gotcha at this point. And this dude made no mistake. Like he basically told you what he is. He showed it to you.
White supremacist rhetoric. Officials say that he interacted with that type of content online, and they did search his family home overnight on Saturday. We went out there and spoke to some neighbors to see what they knew of this suspect, if there were any red flags. I want to play a little bit of some of those conversations.
From what I've seen of the guy, I mean, I didn't see any red flags that described what he had, apparently been said that he had done.
He went to high school with some of the neighbors, and they just said he was just always very quiet.
And the sense I got from speaking to those neighbors is that people would say hello in passing, but didn't really seem to know him. And I should point out that police, while they are investigating the white...
No red flags, he had Nazi tattoos? Bro, what do you think? He just, like, goes to the fucking public pool with his tattoos, showing it to his fucking neighbors and shit? Like... You know what I mean? It's just like a lot of these dudes, okay? A lot of these fucking dudes are very quiet. They don't go outside. They're very shy. How do you think he became a Nazi? He literally was so extremely fucking online that his brain got broken from being online over and over and over and over and over again. And like, he was terminally fucking online. Until he dove fully in and became a part of this movement. That's it. That's why people will be like, "What? I didn't know he was like that." Yeah, of course you didn't know what he was like because you don't know what he was like online. Okay. Because none of these motherfuckers put their actual faces online until they become like a prominent leadership. Until they have a prominent leadership role in the movement and they're like the public facing side and the media trained side. A lot of them just have like anime lolly avatars, Roman statue avatars. You know what I mean? Like we have all of it. We have all of the details if you want to know, because immediately people tried to do, before we jump to that though, people tried to immediately jump to the, This guy's not a Nazi. I mean, come on. Yeah. How could he be a Nazi? He has a Hispanic name. Like, they did that shit, right? One of the funnier ones was Michael Treacy. Hold on. One second. Where the fuck is it? Where's Michael Tracy's, like... Where is it? I don't... Oh. What is this? If a mass shooter is a white supremacist, a Mexican cartel member, a trans activist, a schizophrenic, a huge fan of Biden, a huge fan of Trump, or anything in between, this ought to be demonstrated with evidence, not uncorroborated projections based on vague anonymous leaks. Oh, yeah. He was doing the whole, like, I'm skeptical of this, by the way. But where is the other one? Oh. Oh, he still did it. He did the... If having white supremacist beliefs no longer means believing the innate superiority of whites to other inferior races, then maybe pick a different term for the beliefs you're describing rather than always going to provoke the most angry emotional reaction. Sometimes it's fair to say someone has white supremacist beliefs. For instance, El Paso mass shooter in 2019 and Buffalo mass shooter in 2020 to explicitly express such beliefs. That doesn't mean it's an inherently elastic term that's just synonymous with bad. What? Bro, he's like, officials probe Texas mall shooter's possible link to honey bunches of oats. That would be a better headline because it would have just as much had legitimate news value. Plus, the added benefit of not whipping up hysteria with anonymous conjecture from media whispering officials. Dude, I don't think this guy fucking recognizes that, like, if you had a little bit of media literacy, or at the very least, if you had like 3.5 fucking brain cells, you would recognize that police aren't often quick to jump and be like, this is a hate crime. If anything, motherfuckers would be like, I'm doing a hate crime. And cops would be like, hold on now. Let's figure out what this guy had to say. Was he a good guy? You know what I mean? Was he like a wonderful, kind individual with a bad day, having a bad day? Let's figure that out first. When a cop says in official notes that there are possible ties to white supremacy before the news media's coverage on the matter comes in, okay? You bet your fucking ass there's a lot of indications that he's a fucking Nazi, okay? So for him to just like go and jump to this conclusion and get fucking so publicly obliterated, I guess it's possible that someone named Mauricio Garcia may have had white supremacist beliefs, but perhaps further analysis is warranted. Randy says, I doubt it in this case, but have you heard of a person named Nick Fuentes? Michael Treacy said no. Carl Bayer responds and says, here's a reminder. This is Nick Fuentes responding to Michael Tracy. You keep saying that and getting ratioed because it's obviously stupid and wrong. Michael, sometimes you are a useful tool for advancing our reactionary agenda, but nobody should take you seriously beyond that. Thank you, token liberal, for moving the Overton window in our direction. This is my favorite. Check the replies. Dear fucking R word. Why would a Mexican be a white supremacist? You fake news shill. Maybe you should focus on getting your ratings up before you call a pregnant woman a fuckhead on Twitter, bitch. Yeah. How could that happen? I mean, there's so much more. Like every right-wing person, they went off on this shit. Based on the shooter's post, his primary interest seems to be heavy metal type music, sprinkled in with assorted Nazi stuff, including a Hitler cartoon icon he appears especially proud of. No manifesto-style articulations of belief, but still very screwed up and depressing. No, this is him like leaning into like the, okay, maybe he was a Nazi type shit, okay? He's like leaning into it now. This is him basically admitting it, okay? That's it. But like also giving himself an out a little bit where he's like, well, there's no manifesto. Oh, dude, who knows? Who knows how much of a Nazi this guy is? Oh, wait, we do know how much of a Nazi this guy is. Guess what, dude? Here's some indication. This was immediately noticeable, right? The right-wing death squad patch on his fucking gear. But hey, guess what, dude? He had also these tattoos, it seems, which feels like, and he titled it, "Here's what I think about your diversity, you fucking losers." I feel like it's, I mean, guys, I don't want to rush to any fucking conclusions here, okay? I don't want to rush to any conclusions here, but it feels to me like this guy might be a Nazi. I mean, oh, you guys call everybody a Nazi. Oh, what do we mean? We might never know. We might never know. We might never know. Eric, I believe these are his tattoos. He had the Texas tat on the shoulder. He had the Deus Vult tat on his arms. I mean, dude, cops recognize their own, okay? Let's be real. They probably saw the Deus Vult tat and were like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking white supremacist." And then one of them was like, "Hank, I got those tattoos too. What the fuck do you mean? Shut the fuck up." What's 10-8? I don't know what the 10-8 is. Deus Vult, though, is LARPing shit. Holy War. Yeah. Big surprise he was a Libs of TikTok fan. Big surprise he was a Tim Pool fan. The Allen Texas shooter opens the post by saying it was inspired by Libs of TikTok, talks about drag queens and liberal media, and closes with Heil Hitler. So yeah, there is a lot going on here because a lot of Nazis love being extremely online. So once you fucking figure out what their account looks like online, all of a sudden you've opened up Pandora's box to all of the nitty gritty, all of the details, all of the things that they genuinely believe. I am unfamiliar with the 10-8 one. I've never seen that one, but obviously he's got the SS Thunder, the classic, the classic SS Thunderbolts, right here. You know, the double lightning. And I don't know if you know this. Oh, it says 6, not 8. 10-6. 10-6 is the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. I don't know what 10-6 is. But yeah, I mean, that's a swastika. That's a swazi. You know, you see that as a swasti. Okay, you see that, and you know what that is. Everybody knows what that is. It's like everybody knows what the fuck's going on there. Okay. Anyway, what's up? Huh? I don't know. Bro, maybe he was in the middle of making a maze tattoo. Yeah, his avatar also had the Hitler mustache as well. So, everything you need to know. Here is Eric Toller, who is pretty reliable on this sort of stuff. He found as much detailed information about this person's background as possible. Took a while, but I found the Odnoklasniki profile of the Allen Texas shooter described in this New York Times article. Investigators are trying to learn why a gunman fatally shot at least 8 people at a Texas mall, are examining his social media profile, rife with hate-filled rants against women and black people that they believe belong to the gunman. The profile fan on social media site OKRU matches the gunman's birthday and refers to a motel where he was staying before the shooting. Profile also includes language praising Hitler with references to neo-Nazi websites like the Daily Stormer. On Sunday, officials identified the gunman who was killed at the mall by a police officer as Mauricio Garcia, 33. The motive of the attack remains unclear. We have his YouTube account, which I'm surprised YouTube hasn't taken down yet, but this is his YouTube account. This was updated 7 days ago, day of the last laugh. We saw what his likes look like. I mean,
hello, my geeks and peeps.
Let Me Explain Studios, bitten while defending a friend.